Hey everybody, welcome to Myopia Movies. This week we watched Matthew McConaughey try to woo a lady on a job thing while she tries to break up with him by being annoying for a job thing. It's a very strange premise, and we have some of the most annoying characters ever. Enjoy as we talk about how to lose a guy in 10 days. Now in the meantime, I don't know how you got us if you're not subscribed, but thanks for listening. Please review, please subscribe wherever you get us. Please follow us on all the socials. We have just started a subreddit, and we are, of course, on Blue Sky. Thanks for doing all you do to keep us relevant and on the charts. Bye, everyone. Oh, and happy Valentines.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. This week we are talking about How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. A Matthew McConaughey movie, pre-McConaissance, and a Kate Hudson movie, When She Still Mattered. I'm your host, Nick Hoffman, Riffer on Cineprov, and on panel we have
Keiko.
And Charlie.
Also Riffer on Cineprov, Noor.
Atlanta author Matthew W. Quinn.
And so today we thought we would do, for lack of a better term, a movie which does not exist outside of Netflix or the Hallmark/Lifetime channel anymore. A big box, actual honest-to-God rom-com. Now this movie, we tried to do a rom-com every now and again, but these are a handful of bankable stars who are putting together something that is charming, frankly. And we've talked about this a few times, and I will not kvetch yet again. But it's just fun to watch a movie where, I mean, the plot's simple. This is a basic kind of plot, but they have money here. So we actually see the New York Knicks. We actually have real songs. We actually have major actors who are putting these parts together. So it's slightly more believable than Brett Hardchest and Susie Busty, who are trying to just act barely in a Lifetime movie. Now, I guess, unlike a lot of these things, I should ask, who's actually seen this movie before?
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, this was a movie. I don't know if anyone knew this, but I was raised by women, meaning majority of my aunts, and we would watch a lot of rom-coms, essentially. And
it's not surprising to me at all.
Here's the thing. Back in the 2000s and the 90s, 90s and 2000s, you didn't have this wide array of science fiction movies. You didn't have superhero movies.
No.
You didn't have any of this. If there was a superhero movie, it was garbage.
Yep.
Okay. If there was like a science fiction movie, it was either going to be like a really bad Star Wars movie or Star Trek or something like that. You were left with rom-coms.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. But rom-coms were all over the place. I mean, you got Nora Ephron ruled the 90s.
We've done some of those. Maybe future episode, The Notebook would be one.
But these days, it's not really as much of a thing because, well, technology has advanced so that you can actually, for not a small fortune, put on a good science fiction, fantasy, destruction movie,
I think they're coming back, though. I think we're starting to see kind of an interest in more rom-coms.
They're just not in theaters. I mean, to Charlie's point, what it used to be is they used to call like your Star Wars, your X-Men movies, tentpoles. Those are the ones that would come in the summer, Christmas, Thanksgiving, to inflate.
One or two a year.
Right. And then in between, this was the connective tissue, right? Because the tentpole holds up the numbers, and in between they would droop. This movie probably cost nothing except for the actors.
Yep.
But these are bankable. Who doesn't love Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey and Adam Goldman and the rest? But
Kathryn Hahn, who is extremely relevant now, my goddess.
And she's really good at it. She's the one who goes through the initial breakup. But like the whole idea was that this movie was, I say filler, but not in a derogatory way. It's just supposed to be charming and fun. And if the parents are in town, the family's in town, what are you going to take them to see? This is inoffensive. It's not overly sexy.
There was like 3 to 5 of these types of bigger rom-coms in a year. And nowadays, not. I mean,
Well, and again, the problem is Netflix and streaming, but like you would pick your genre. Like, are we going to see the action movie, the horror movie, the drama, or the rom-com? And this was the rom-com this week. And then previous episode, You've Got Mail, or previous episode,
Good.
Splash, or Must Love Dogs.
There's a word term I haven't heard in a long time called date movie. I'm guessing a lot of rom-coms have been date movies.
This movie, yeah.
it says the date movie.
This movie came out in 2003.
Yeah.
Other movies from 2003: Just Married,
Yep.
Ashton Kutcher,
Yeah.
Brittany. What's her name?
Murphy.
Murphy.
Thank you.
Love Actually, Intolerable Cruelty,
Love
What a Girl
Actually.
Wants, Something's
The
Gotta
weird
Give,
Christmas movie of all time.
That's a good question.
Under the Tuscan Sun, Down with Love, one of my favorites.
Down with Love. Under the Tuscan Sun is another
And
good.
also, you forgot about the year prior, Sweet Home Alabama.
That's me.
Good.
We were talking. I was talking on Facebook today.
Right. Gobble. Seriously. Gobble.
I was reading the list. I
Yeah.
really.
I was talking on Facebook today with a friend of the show, Ben Stark. We were talking about rom-coms, and Sweet Home Alabama and Love Actually came up.
I mean, those were good. I mean, they were financially successful. I Love Actually around Christmas is kind of like a Snape with his mistress. Oh, I can't believe I bought. Oh no, how befuddling it is that I bought my girlfriend at work a necklace and my wife a CD of Joni Mitchell.
Let's talk about the reconnaissance, in a sense, because I did
The Renaissance.
reconnaissance.
So I read his biography and I felt like I needed weed the whole time. Because he's
All right.
he's like a little philosopher there with his Lincoln commercials.
Well, there wasn't that many rom-coms as I'm looking at it. So they had The Wedding Planner,
He did.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days,
Uh-huh.
Failure to Launch,
Go on.
The Ghost of Christmas Past,
Yeah.
Girlfriend Past. excuse me.
Dude, the Ghost of
Friends
Friends
Past.
Past is an episode and a half.
Ooh, another good Kate Hudson, Fool's Gold. That was pretty good.
I enjoyed that one.
Almost.
That was
Alex
fun.
and Emma.
Tiptoes? That's a
Dude, no way. Okay, I'll tell you what Tiptoes is.
Is that?
Tiptoes is a warrior. He is from a family of little people, and he's the only normal-heighted person. And he takes his girlfriend home to meet the little people family. And Gary Oldman, little person, they do it. He's on his knees wearing shoes on his knees.
No forced perspective or
When did Shallow Hal come out? Because
Okay,
that feels
we've got
like
Jack Black.
It feels like a response to Shallow Hal.
that could have been like
Okay, we've got to see this movie.
Tiptoes is
We
a
actually talked about it before.
previous episode or a
Yeah.
competing show. We don't compete with them in real life, but it's a how did this get made kind of movie. Like, who greenlit all of that nonsense?
Peter Dinklage is in that.
Peter Dinklage is in there.
What?
Peter Dinklage is in that, and nowadays I like that he doesn't have to only be elves in Christmas movies, little people roles.
I really wanted to see very badly the more recent, like, kind of medieval movie that he was in.
Oh,
Game of Thrones?
No.
I'm glad you said that immediately because that was my first thought too.
It's
I say things your friends.
the only chance I had to watch it was when we were on a flight, and I can't hear on airplanes because my ears are messed up. And I was like, I can't watch this movie because I can't hear it.
This is nothing against you, it's against all of us, but I like how sometimes our podcast just turns into complaints about I'm almost fully
Uncomfortable.
now I have anxiety when sometimes I have spicy food and have to take a shit. And like it's just like this is a podcast.
I think there's also you're talking about short people.
It's because you
Oh,
fucking millennials are finally starting to get old. And now you can't shut up about it.
And now I have my little vitamin thing that I fill every Sunday, fill with all my pills.
We are in the generation where we can complain.
Well, yeah.
I have eustachian tube dysfunction.
Is that like an olfactory thing?
Guys,
I'm just using terms I read from anatomy.
Is it peptides made?
the plot is
Leading into the fact that this movie, yes, right, how to lose a guy. Oh, first, before we get into it, I would like to point out that I don't know if you picked up on it. Kate Hudson's character, Andy Anderson, alliterative.
Uh-huh.
Matthew McConaughey, Benjamin Barry.
Yeah.
Alliterative.
A and B.
I found that adorable.
Wait, what?
Dude.
Hold on. I'm illiterate. So tell me again what it says.
Alliterative
Alliterative.
means
Please explain.
in the English language, sometimes we like it when the first letter starts the same. Andy Anderson.
Betty Batter bought some.
Yeah.
Betty Batter bought some batter.
it is-
She
it
said my
is-
batter's bitter.
It's not rhyming, but it's in the family of it. It's just,
Pleasant.
it's pleasant. It's sing-songy.
Okay. No. That's cool.
Yeah, it's the front rhyming.
Yeah.
And I will say, it's cute the way they do it. Andy Anderson. And because it's 2003, she's not a Pamela Anderson, to be sure. So let me do the plot very quick.
Yeah.
So Andy Anderson works for a Cosmo-esque magazine called Composure, and she's the how-to girl. And if you've ever seen what my college girlfriend Liz called the Bible, it's always on the front like how to please your man, how to lose weight, how to do blank, blank, blank. So she's the how-to girl. Fine. She comes up with, through some circuitous means, a article called How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Because, as you mentioned, Agatha all around, Kathryn Hahn, had just went through a terrible breakup because she is all the bad things that we will get to. She is clingy. She told the guy she loved him on the second date, or
She cried right after sex
she cried after sex.
because it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
I can see try it.
So, which frankly, talking to some of the women I know, having an orgasm might actually bring you to tears when your previous loves have been so terrible.
How to get out of a speeding ticket. How to.
How to. And we get this montage, which is actually fairly well done. I'm fine. I have very little complaints about this other than the style of humor is cringe, and I'm bad with that.
Yeah.
Then we flip the script. We are introduced to Matthew McConaughey
All right.
and Adam Goldman and Tom Lennon, who are Matthew McConaughey is the kind of lead. They're his two assistants and / buddies, and they're trying to get a giant diamond account. There's also these two ladies who are his nemesis in the accounting or in the advertisement firm,
Played by Michael Michelle and Shalyn Harlow.
and their thing is
The ladies focus on the luxury goods,
Yeah.
and he focuses on, well, basically anything you would find in a Maxim magazine.
exactly.
Sporting goods. Very sexist.
And the girl's thing is that a man should buy the diamond for the lady, right? It's what are those? Is it Zales where it's the silhouette people? And
To Jared.
He went to Jared.
he went to the Jared. That's the idea. And his idea is like, no. Diamonds are things that anyone can buy for themselves to look fancy. And
Diamonds
the
are for
boss,
everywhere.
in a very weird thing, goes, if you can seduce a lady, then you get the contract.
Yes.
And the two of them end up with they both have a she's all that scenario.
Yes.
Which is
He's trying to make her fall in love in 10 days because on the 10th day, that's when the big party
his
is.
party is, yes.
Mhm.
And she's trying to make him fall in love.
No, she's trying to break up.
Because Kate Hudson is so gorgeous, she can obviously get the guy, but can you make him dump you in 10 days?
That's hilarious.
No, it's a good premise.
It is a great premise.
Because they're like, it's like it's the best like tug and play, almost back and forth kind of thing, and it's magical because they're both so fucking egotistical.
And they're also so fuckable. Like they're no, I mean like
They're two beautiful white people. We got it.
no.
The fact these characters are so likable helps us get around how incredibly mean-spirited and dishonest this whole plot.
Dude, she is awful. Like
She between the two of them, she's objectively the worst.
and and also let's not forget, this is 10 fucking days.
Like and I started writing down all the things she did because I was like, oh, how to lose a guy in 10 days. I'm going to provide a list of all the things she did. I lost track because she really she committed to the bit. She committed to the bit.
It is, and all of it is cringe because it's not like she starts crying during sex or something. They really don't have sex. That's kind of one of the bits of it.
They alluded to it.
Well, I mean, there's at one point where she's naked in the shower with him, but
They're in his
actually-
parents' house.
They talk about not having sex.
Yeah.
However, it's also like
They fuck.
she breaks into poker night at one point and starts coughing because the guys are smoking. Because again, this is 2003. There was nothing hotter than Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm having
And
college
so
flashbacks now.
all these guys sitting around a poker table smoking cigars, and she's all like,
He names his penis Princess something.
Princess Sophia.
Well, I think
And there's a joke about the princesses got not on the throne because he wasn't able to perform.
I will
The
say
princess has abdicated or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into the loop, but like even from when they first meet, you know what I mean? Because even how the interactions, like they were like, you can't get a girl to fall in love with you, and they're like, pick any one girl out here, and they know they're like her, and even how they first introduce each other, they're just saying like simple one words, so like dinner, sure, how, now, brown.
That's just how white
It's
people
just-
Talk to each other.
Is that?
Yeah.
I'm glad I got an insight
Asian.
to go to a mountain caucus. Yeah, but like it's hilarious to me just the situations. Like you said, you wanted to list out the things. So,
I just had ChatGPT do that. If you guys are curious.
no. Let's. I'll name them and I'll tell you which one is
No,
my favorite scenes.
And before you do it, just for half a second,
Yes.
the one thing we have to emphasize is that for some reason it super matters that the Knicks are in the NBA Finals.
Did they help pay for this movie as a product placement?
No, but I will say this is one of those places where you can tell that the movie still had money because they actually film at Knicks games. Like they show the logos, they show otherwise it would have been. Nowadays, I can't even imagine. It would have been a fake university or something.
Yeah.
But
And they got Celine Dion in it too for a little bit.
and Marvin Hamlish shows up in the thing and sings a song.
That's true.
But I mention it because
Keith Urban.
no, they actually do have things in common. They're a couple that make sense the whole time, right?
Yeah.
If your one drive is the same thing as the other person, it helps.
Well, the first date and then like the last 2 days is where you see where they have
Genuine.
so much in common and genuine compassion towards each other.
It's rom-com.
Yeah.
That's why the spoiler alert, they don't break up permanently into hating each other forever for screwing each other like
No,
this.
it's a rom-com.
They have to get active.
Again,
Well, this isn't 500 Days of Summer, which I think is supposed to deconstruct rom-coms.
well, no, but every
That movie's
previous rom-com we did.
Oh,
Again,
yeah, that was-
You've got mail. You've got mail. Tom Hanks is literally in charge of the Murdoch-esque business that's driving Meg Ryan out of business. And at the end, guess what? They buy out the place, but she's still in charge and they're in love. Like, that's what all of these things are because the rom has to follow the com.
So I'm glad you mentioned professions.
Thank
About
God.
professions.
I've done something right.
Yes, you did.
Thank
And
you.
I just want to talk about like how much money these people actually make because she's a writer, and I know a lot.
Well, she writes for a big magazine.
But she doesn't write for con.
And she writes for they couldn't do this movie today because her job has been replaced by ChatGPT.
freelance work. Yeah, and he works at a marketing agency.
I
I work at a marketing I work in advertising. I ain't got no money like that.
Because you're not Matthew McConaughey.
I guess.
Can it work on your glutes a little?
There was a fairly
All right.
recent show that I watched.
Emily in Paris.
Was it about advertising?
No, not Emily in Paris.
Mad Men.
The Bold Type. It was on Freeform, and
So now you're making stuff up. I can't.
and I actually you started
Really?
watching it. I think on maternity leave. So maybe it's not so recent after all, but within like 10 years,
Yeah.
and it was about a magazine. And they made like a fashion lifestyle magazine, and then I guess like it became a plot point in the show that they had to switch to fully digital because like magazines.
If you want to see the heyday, watch Just Shoot Me.
yeah,
Oh my God.
I'm a magazine journalism major, and I took a class trip to New York City, and so most magazines, it's freelancer. So the fact that she's a full-time writer for this magazine shows she's pretty high up on the food chain.
Yeah,
Well, and it's also 20 years ago.
Well, 20 years ago, but also fantasy.
Yes. No, I mean, and again, like,
She has a graduate degree.
so do
That
I.
comes up.
Well,
Four of
that's
them.
the part that's realistic. She has a master's degree in English, and she's writing or journalism, and she's writing trash because that's the only job she can get.
Well, and I was gonna say, and she wants to talk about
Political stuff. Yeah.
she wrote a thing of like Georgia or Turkmenistan, like
Tajikistan.
Tajikistan, and they're like, yeah, this isn't for us. You go write how to pick up a guy at a bar. Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I was commenting to Nick today. Does she have a non-compete because she could just write this article on her own time and send it to somewhere else?
She might. Though, like, this is
But
2003.
that's not a good story.
and that's also not 2003.
Yeah. Yeah. This is also a post 9/11 movie.
She needs to feel unfulfilled in her life.
Yeah.
Because a man has come along and filled the holes.
Wait, has it? I don't think they really had any like relationship type, like, oh, I can't find a guy, da 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 da. It was just this conflicting.
She wanted the
Bets.
idea. It
Yeah.
sounds like it was.
I think it was this. Her boss actually had heard about
Okay.
her friend's breakup and wanted someone to write a story about it, so she kind of took the hit
Right.
because someone else was going to write.
No. We've got to take this back, guys.
Yeah.
There's a concept called the workaholic. Now, for a man, that means you're married and you're not in touch with your kids. But for a woman, that means you're an old maid.
Yes.
And
It
that's
means
what
you
she
never
is.
got married and
You put career first,
put
but not
career
the
first.
problem. And like, no,
And it takes a strong man to come in and sweep you off your feet and make you realize the error of your ways so you can quit your job, have babies, and be barefoot in the kitchen.
when does that get to happen?
dude, that's effectively what happens at the end of this. Because she's on her way to be in interview at the Washington Post or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
he's
he's
like,
like, no. You can just, you should stay here and be with me.
Bullshit. He practically just goes, all right. And she's like, well, my panties have just disappeared. I don't know what to
What's that from?
All right.
Is that from?
No, that's just
That's a
back in
catchphrase.
McConaughey.
No, and it's from, is it?
Was it from the movie?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Fast Time?
Yeah, it's Times at Ridgemont
Is that what?
High.
I haven't seen the movie.
Days of
but-
Confused.
Days of Confused.
Days of
Sorry, he's in
Confused.
Days of Confused. Yeah. Which is a good movie, too.
Very good movie. Very good movie.
But
That's
also,
what's a
girls
movie.
sorry, I keep getting older and the girls keep staying the same age. There you go. That's his line. He's hanging out outside of high school. He's a creeper. He's a
Thank you for
he's-
clarifying.
Yes. He's essentially, before Jay and Silent Bob existed, he was Jay. That's what he was. And it's a good movie. It is a good movie.
I think I've seen that.
So I guess
Then you've seen a Linklater. That's a good movie.
I guess we can break down the movie.
No, I
in
mean,
certain sections.
we're
Because
talking about we just
Well, we already talked about the plot.
well, we don't talk about the plot, but I do want to talk about like
just
let's-
understand
let's
that's-
ChatGPT
Well, let's talk about the high points of of what she tries to do to drive the away.
Right, that's
So
the
the-
You don't understand.
Yeah.
But at the end of this, I'm going to need a whiskey and a Xanax. Because my skin is crawling off of my
So
face.
these are the things that she does to him.
number one.
And there's
The
11
one thing he does to her.
clinginess. She calls him excessively
17 times in the answering
Yeah.
machine. Yep.
So,
the love fern.
The love fern.
oh yeah. That's like the second date he cooks for her, and she brings this box of things.
Yes.
Oh, and the photo of Go on. Some mango steaks through the stuffing. He's like, no, Mitchell, no.
My grandma had a carpet toilet cover thing.
Yeah.
But my stepdad, his toilet seat is that like squishy kind.
The puffy.
Yeah, like where you sit on it, it goes
Those.
like that. Anyway,
As you should.
it's actually really comfortable, but it's like
Absolutely.
you're like,
I'm
oh,
more
this is weird. This is gross. Like,
No, it's
Anyway.
the least hygienic thing.
yeah, right, because it's like foam. It's literally
Yeah.
foam.
Sweaty. I don't know. We have to talk
Um,
about it.
Anyway, so the bathroom stuff, the nicknames like Benny Boo 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 Bear.
For his penis.
Roll the warrior.
Yeah, and for his penis.
Princess Sophia.
She crashed his guy's night, brought a veggie platter, and forced him to take care of her delicate drink order.
And the showing up to work.
Okay, and also, the day you mentioned this briefly, but he makes this delicious lamb dinner.
He's
Yeah.
cherry glee.
And she sings, Mary had a little shot.
And she's like, I wish I ate.
And she fries about a dead potato on her plate. That the potato's dead.
And actually, that's the when they're in that vegan little restaurant. Actually, let's back.
And he says this stuff's for cows or something, and gets mad. Isn't he like very healthy? I mean, he has to be super healthy. He's so fit.
At one point, he changes his clothes in the office to show how ripped he is.
Dude, that scene is just like pure McConaughey.
That's what
The director was like, so how are we going to show? And his shirt's already off. He's like, I have an idea.
Well, okay. So there's just a couple more. Karaoke. Embarrassing karaoke singing "You're So Vain."
Yeah. Dude.
Introducing him to her therapist and
there's her coworker pretending to be a therapist.
Dude.
Has the dog come up yet?
Yeah, the dog. She barges into his work. Gets them down.
Actually, that's not on this
Yes,
list.
Because even after the third act misunderstanding, they're broken up. He still has the dog.
Because here's the thing. He's still a good dude. Like,
Yeah.
But he's trying to get.
He's trying to win her, so he's doing everything. It's such a perfect dynamic for a movie because she's
She's trying to pull away.
He was trying to be accommodating, yeah.
and then the basketball game that she made him leave in the last minute.
That sucks. Yeah.
several times. Dude, I was furious.
There's no. This is regular Coke. I just.
So things he did to her to win her over is he was super patient. He did lots of romantic gestures.
Mm-hmm.
He invited her to meet his family.
On the 6th day.
Crazy.
You didn't even mention the photo book.
Oh yeah.
So that's
That falls under the family pressure. Yeah. The
Photoshop was how was Photoshop back in the
I mean,
day?
Photoshop's been forever, but
yeah.
it was.
well. You saw the way those pictures look.
Well, no, but so
Yes.
like in movies before the Adobe and such, I knew you would go somewhere, you would stick a bunch of
they had
photos
Adobe in
in
2003.
it. Well, I'm talking about like the places where you would go and put your photos in what's like, I don't know, a washing machine type thing,
Yeah.
and like spin around really quick, and then I didn't know.
That's too.
Is it?
Kinko's?
What?
The fuck are you talking about? What are you talking?
Let me see this in movies.
I think he's talking about like a photo developing studio.
But it's not. But like
Yeah.
they would like. It's not like the Red Room type deal. It's just like when you wanted to blend in the pictures together with Photoshop. I don't know. You would put the photos in some type of like spinning.
It spun them together?
Right. No,
Dude,
am I?
you are out of your fucking.
I don't know what
That
you're
is insane. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So
Someone just Google it.
No, no. Nor what you're explaining is magic. This is right. What's interesting is nowadays the vernacular to say someone's photoshopped. This must be at the beginning of that because
Yeah.
Photoshop has existed since I believe the early 90s. It just used to be nothing. Like
Yeah.
it used to be better than Microsoft Paint, but not a lot. And by 2003, it's
Yeah.
what we see.
So that would have been when I was in high school, and I was very heavily into like photo editing and that kind of way.
Reporting.
So yeah,
Livewire. VD.
fair
Fair. Sure.
Hmm.
I was a
That one. So the thing that you used Photoshop for back in the day was cropping, changing the aspect ratio, changing the size, and converting between the different file formats.
Oh no, I did like very complex, like layered photos.
I'm getting flashbacks to my first newspaper job because that was kind of my responsibility was fiddling with color modes and cropping.
Did y'all have the spinny thing?
No spinning things.
I didn't know what you're talking about.
It's gonna.
I got to find out what this thing he's talking about is.
Oh God. Okay. No. What's the movie with Bob Dylan and Jack Black?
Bob
Dylan and Jack Black.
I don't know if I've ever been in a movie with Dylan.
Yes, a Nobel laureate.
Yes, hold on. There's a scene. Hold on.
This is a trend.
Yeah, continue.
You can remember the best song in the world. This is just a tribute.
What's that condition where you remember things from an alternate reality?
Cancer.
Not deja vu.
It's
The Bernstein issue.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
The Bernstein Bears.
I will say this, and this is like there's been times where I'll say previous episode, and then they're like, we never did that movie, nor I was like, no, we did that.
Like I said, he's got some major Mandela effect going on.
He's got something going on.
I'll be quiet just for a second as I do research. Please continue about this.
Nora, what do you think they do? You think they spin it around and it gets blurred, and then maybe they
of Wonder Woman,
take a picture of it.
and she,
I will figure this out.
Are you thinking of Sailor Moon?
No, I will figure this out, and you guys are like,
If she spins around and then
Okay, so while he's working, you're listing all the good things he does in contrast to how nutty she is.
that was pretty much.
that was
I mean, that's it. He was just patient. That was the number one thing.
Yeah.
He was incredibly patient.
Chasing after her when
I mean,
she like tries to leave at the end, getting her into the diamond party.
in these types of movies, you rarely are like rooting for the guy. You know, usually it's like you see that the woman is the one that needs to be won. But in this, the guy that he needs to be won.
Yeah.
Because she's fucking
awful.
terrible to it.
I mean, and again, like, I'm saying it because she's the character, but like, she is awful. Like, truly.
Absolutely.
Well, and that's
awful.
kind of the weird thing, and that might be my one kind of hang up about this movie is she's being so awful intentionally, and it's almost like the joke is that girls are awful and guys have to deal with them.
Have to tolerate
And like, and I'm like, oh, so to
absolutely.
be yourself, you're awful.
Well, I said there should have been like 2 minutes more at the end where she was like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I was a bat." Right?
Yeah.
Like, because you're right. She's always awful until even at the end, he doesn't have any lines with her. He just kind of rescues it.
Well, I think this whole thing was she was going to do things that women do to sabotage themselves.
Well, yes.
Yeah, but the point is, it's fucking sexist.
Yeah, because sabotaging yourself by being genuine, like
why aren't these? Why are they only the things that women do to sabotage the relationship?
Well, because she's writing for women's magazine. He's the one who tries to seduce her to win a bet.
what about giving somebody a love lock? That's a weird romantic gesture.
That's old-fashioned.
Yeah, to give somebody
Still exists.
a lock that's supposed to represent your love.
Or virginity
He's
pledge.
not paying
Or
Don't go creepy.
Okay, we have found it. We have found the spinny thing.
Nora, I was trying to call you out.
Okay, first of all, the movie's called Saving Silverman. It's not Bob Dylan. It's Neil Diamond. I'm sorry, wrong white guy.
There's literally any problem winning white guy musician.
Basically the same thing.
There's literally a scene where they're trying to like save his buddy, and so they're like cutting out and photoshopping things in a kiosk of some sort. So they're like, and then
they had like discoveries.
Okay, and they're printing, and then where's the spinning thing? They didn't do the spinning thing. Okay,
That's because
maybe
you made that up.
I made that up.
Photoshop.
It's Photoshop. They just use a Xerox copier.
I think you might be thinking of at those kiosks. I do remember they used to have like a rack where they would hang negatives that was like a spinny rack, but I don't think it was like a thing that did something.
If it ever pops
A slideshow thing, big wheel with slides in it.
Sort of like that. Yeah.
Maybe if this ever pops up in anyone's timeline, because we talk about it and our devices listen to us,
I think it'll come zoetrope where they kind of the horses are running.
Okay, so
I didn't know there was no idea with.
So Matt was saying why this movie wasn't sexist.
Because I posted on the Facey book, which of them is worse? He's trying to seduce her to win a bet, and she's enlisting all her coworkers in this elaborate mind game, the therapy session.
That's the question. That's the thesis of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
so which one?
Well,
is
they
worse?
portray her as trying to be manipulative and cruel and psychotic, and him to trying to achieve a conquest over a woman.
Well,
so,
I mean,
both of them manipulative.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
you're right.
I don't think you got my nuance.
Yes.
It's fucking sexist.
Yes.
How? Sorry, I was looking up.
He was trying to look up spinning this. He googled speak only this.
He's downloading.
I googled Bob Dylan Jack Black movie. None against Neil Diamond.
He's downloading filmmaking techniques from the 70s.
So no. Just let me clarify. It's sexist because. Why is it sexist? Sorry, I totally watched.
All right.
Is it sexist because is it sexist because she's leaning into the typical female tropes, and then he has to be all macho?
It is stereotypical that the woman is the one who can mess up a relationship by being clingy and psychotic.
No, you're right.
It is stereotypical that a man can make a woman fall in love with her.
Get a girl.
But it was also, and I will also say it's also opposite subversive in that it's the man who's trying to save the relationship instead of the woman in a rom-com.
It is in that it is.
Well, and now I will say both of them inherently are setting up as tropes, right?
You're right. Both of them are leaning into the worst aspects of the stereotypes of their gender.
Because, like, again, if you write like a strong man character and women are just like, oh, I'm throwing myself at you, I want to have the sex with you, that's also a bad character type, right? Because the idea that you don't even have to that women are just like, I'm not even interested in her and she wants to have sex with me, that's a bad character type as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they make fun of it at the end because the only woman who's actually just interested in him in that way is like an 80-year-old millionaire.
Yes.
And so they have fun with those tropes a little bit.
They do.
I commented in the Facey book, this seems like it's a satire of dating culture circa 2003.
Oh, I mean, it is, because this is the end of Friends, and they're like talk in a cafe kind of. This is a very talk movie because her friends are all women and they're giving her bad advice. His friends are all guys and they're not giving him good advice either. Like, there's that part of it as well.
Well,
yeah, that's also the most stereotypical thing about this is that all of her friends are women. Yeah. All of his friends are men. Yeah. And they're like, men. And, you know, it's
cultural commentary.
Yeah.
Well, and it was also the time when, like, those magazines, like, people would get those magazines and you would, like, fill out a quiz to find out what color your underwear means.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Who you're going to marry based on the color of your underwear and, like, that kind of thing. And, like, you would
young people actually thought.
No, that's magazine today.
Young people actually thought that Cosmo was the handbook for women and Maxim was the handbook for men.
Well, and people, like, really followed that stuff.
I said it before. My college girlfriend said that it was called it the Bible, and I'm like, guys, I didn't marry her. Okay, it's the next year, and you know, healthier relationship, but it's very much like this college drama. Like,
which
by the way, something that they make fun of in this, which they nail, is that when we see her magazine, which is called Composure, every other page is ads. And that's what those things were, like 60% ads, easy.
Yeah.
And Nora will decide whether to edit this out. But it's very funny that the last movie we recorded, Madame Web, is all Pepsi products, and this one is all Coke products, like huge, giant Coke caps.
It's also funny that that one is set in 2003. Did you plan that? I don't think you planned.
It was a coincidence. I am genius.
Yes, I did. I didn't know it, but I did.
So let me just ask, generally, of the things that she did or the things that he did, what seems most ick?
Okay, so in 10 days, because remember, all this happens within 10 days. Her ruining poker night is in some ways the worst.
No,
what's the worst for you?
No, that's just creepy. Okay. The worst thing was getting her best friend to pretend to be a therapist.
That's awful. Yes.
and more importantly, to throw him off his game. And maybe this is just me personally getting offended, but accusing him of being gay.
Oh.
The therapist. That's a weird one.
No, well, that's part of the toxic masculinity. It's the 90s.
That was his thing.
Yeah.
But also,
I mean, it's At that time period, it was an insult for men to be considered gay,
To be gay.
This is why Friends is hard to rewatch nowadays.
right?
Yes.
And so it brings up a fascinating idea in my mind of, would this movie be able to be made today?
As is, buried in Netflix, possibly, but other than that, no.
I can see it, to be honest. Like, there wasn't anything too besides that, but like they could have switched up the language to something else. You know what I mean?
They would have to clean it up a little bit.
Just to clean it up, but you can honestly make the same
You
movie.
made some minor changes, like caring about basketball.
Yeah.
I would put out that they would
put
try
out
and swap the roles.
So they would.
So that the woman was trying to make the guy fall in love with her,
Yes.
and the guy was trying to make the woman break up with him.
So in this case, he'd act like a nasty frat guy or something.
Oh God! And you know what though? You know what? It would have to be a YouTube channel. Wouldn't it?
She's an influencer.
He's Mr. Beast, and he's just like figuring it out.
That could be funny in and of itself. Just if we're gonna just be sexist or engage in social commentary about gender roles or something.
Exactly.
He acts like a slovenly caveman, and the thing is, if she's infinitely patient with him, then people might say that's sexist.
Oh no! You know what it would be? The pitch would be a reality TV show.
Like Joe
And
Millionaire.
actually fall in love.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I
Like
see that.
that's what it would be. And whoever's the you pick your role, but one is a producer and she's like, fine, I guess I'll be the for the pilot, I'll be the person. And the other one, he, I guess, is an investigative journalist to show how weird this world is. Then you could do the exact same thing. It's just, and the show is just called 10 Days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right. No, that's how this would work.
Yeah.
And it would be on exclusive to Tubi because no one would actually watch this.
Or Fox Nation.
Doesn't Hallmark have their own streaming channel?
What network?
Plus,
Guys, flashback time. What network was Temptation Island on?
Temptation Island is Fox.
Because I remember my Sunday school teacher didn't want us watching Temptation Island because he or she said it was just cruel. This whole I'm going to manipulate people sounds
Fox was the first one to lean in on those reality shows.
Yeah.
So this could be a definitely like
I-
white collar Temptation Island.
I think it could be cool to see some of these like classic rom-coms that we think of, like, because I think this is one of the ones that, like, when you think of like a rom-com, this is one of the ones that you think of.
Sure.
But retold as an LGBTQ story, and that might take out like what you're talking about, like that
That would be interesting.
that stereotype dynamic,
Yep.
because it's two people who
Because then it would be archetypes.
it would just be personality stuff.
This was just
personality archetypes.
Yeah.
It's just a copy and paste of all rom-coms tropes, and they had to have the guy running at the end. Harry Met Sally, Billy Crystal,
No, I was just
running
gonna
through the
say-
city of New York.
You are right.
Tom Hanks had to go and run to Meg Ryan, the city of New York.
Who is the main character? Is it Kate Hudson? And are women always the main character in rom-coms?
I thought it was a genre women particularly liked. So
Yeah, I would argue that I don't know who actually got top billing, but they probably share screen time equally.
Yeah.
They did.
So, but that's my question. My line of thinking is that it seems like most rom-coms are more from the girl's perspective.
Which is
However, I would put forth that rom-coms of that period, they tried to find a guy that women would be very enticed by.
All right.
Well, they succeeded.
no, it's just it's funny because I agree with you, but I wish there was more actors who did these kinds of things because of that. Because again, if you watch the Lifetime movies, it's just generic blonde with big boobs.
The rom-coms used to pay money.
Yeah.
Now they don't.
That's it. You're right.
We're getting back to it though. I think they're coming back. Especially around the holidays, like Netflix and
Hot
like
Frosty.
yeah, Hot Frosty was very
Remember-
good.
Turns out Frosty has a penis.
Spoiler alert.
Carrot stick on the dog.
No, dude, this is not Jack Frost. This is like.
No,
she puts
not-
the skirt
Did you just
around it,
say
comes up
carrot
and make a
stick?
man.
Yeah,
Carrot stick?
yeah. The Jack Frost is a snowman, right?
Yeah, that gets rapey with his carrot nose.
No, that's Jack Frost. This one is just.
It's a Jack Frost.
This was a Hallmark movie about a snowman that comes alive
And he's hot.
and he's hot.
And he's hot.
And it's called Hot Frosty. And it apparently
It's
dominated
delightful.
the 2024 holiday season, much like the Christmas Prince did
The Christmas Prince is
about
really good.
4 years
A
ago.
few
Oh,
years
the
ago,
Sedia Farm one from 2 years ago.
there was one that was called like The Night Before Christmas, and it was about a knight
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that one. That one.
who came into modern. That one is hilarious. So good.
What's the one with Melissa Joan Hart and she owns a cookie factory around Christmas and the Nutcracker comes to life?
What does he do?
I don't even recall.
I don't. Never mind. Never mind.
He has some great soda crack.
I don't know if y'all noticed this. A majority of
I had
rom-coms.
probably not noticed
No,
that.
no. There are scenes where everyone is just glowing. You know,
It's called gauze. Yes, they used to Vaseline up that lens because
What?
this is true. Like you get these. I mean, I don't know where we are in the movie because we haven't really
Like
talked
Home
about the
Alone?
movie.
Nah, it's just like
Kind of. But at the end of this movie, for example, they're riding down, I believe it's the Queensboro Bridge, but
It's
he
not
catches
that-
up on a motorcycle.
It's not that bright and beautiful around that part of New York City.
No,
at
but
nighttime.
they
there's
look
like-
at each other, the lens is hazy, and they fall in love, right? That's what it is. It's they gauze up that lens.
And that's just like I know that's a trope in every. I mean, at Twilight, I guess they were vampires and they all glue.
What are they?
So-
Courier and Knives. What is the? It's just
Was it-
old
yeah,
school
was it-
romantic movie.
Well, even like you kind of see that in old like OG like black exploitation films where it's just like really centered. Oh, I poke myself in the eye when it's out. Like it really centers on the eye. It, like really so hard.
yeah,
Just like really focuses it on the eyes and the face, and it's just like I would not black exploitation. It's just like more of like Wizard of Oz. You know when like Dorothy is singing it's Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Voice like home.
It's just no place, and it's like really in her face. I don't know. I kind of really like that effect, and essentially, yeah. But yeah, so I guess we haven't been really following the movie in chronological
because
order.
things are so cringe. We've
I
talked
mean, they're
like
two-dimensional.
soda during the NBA Finals, rather.
There is a scene when
Playoffs. The Knicks went to the
she
finals.
leaves the purse at his apartment,
Which
and he's holding it
Seinfeld episode, for
like
Christ's sake.
yeah, like a bomb. And
Dude, I do like them accidentally. Oh no, I knocked it off the desk so we could see what's inside.
I thought that was
funny.
interesting that they were also like mystified at what was inside the
First
purse.
of all, ladies,
Say,
if you want to throw a man off the trail, put a tampon or a pad in there, they would have lost their fucking minds.
It was instantly something else she does that's put like Jaws. You know, he's looking through his bathroom, done. Everybody that like horror movie music.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. And that's what they might as well have done.
I mean, guys do freak out when
Well,
girls leave stuff.
you know, it plays into the trope of women are so mysterious.
You said men freak out when women leave.
Yes, I did.
behind. No,
I do.
you're not wrong. But we have to mention, and we said it before, what she does to the bathroom is not leaving behind a toothbrush.
She brings a box of things in.
Yeah, and I will say now the way they reveal it is very funny because there's a tube of Vagisil where the toothpaste should be, and he rubs his face with the towel because she's being insane.
And I love how he picks up the
And
toothbrush.
there's like, and he rubs his temple like there's something there he doesn't expect. And he looks at the tube of Vagisil as though she like wiped her thighs clean with the same towel. That's Matthew McConaughey acting.
yeah.
And that is some good physical acting. He's losing his goddamn mind.
I love it.
It's very good.
Yes,
Then it-
absolutely.
To the scene showing him from outside of the bathroom and hearing him go, no. I was just looking in my purse to see what I have going on
Well,
here.
I will say this. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what Miss cool thing?
What's this cool piece? Yeah.
Fire.
A notepad.
I have a
Receipts.
kids Minecraft
I know.
pad.
Notepad. Yes.
I have
You got gum in there.
a palm reader
Okay.
template.
Oh, nice. Do you have next tips
The
in
dry
there?
cleaning pickup.
No.
The
Roller derby.
and a
Blah, blah.
water.
Socks.
So I will say that's very
I feel like
funny.
go dancing later.
I'm wearing socks.
Okay, that's just smart there.
I will also just throw out there something that's very funny and maybe a commentary on the early 2000s. But when he opens the medicine cabinet part of his mirror,
No.
everything inside is pink.
I love it.
Like, because all the feminine products were pink or purple. It's
Yeah.
bisexual lighting. But it's just very funny that everything in there, you don't even, like, again, if you couldn't read English, you know it's not his stuff.
Yeah.
Everything is pink.
Yeah.
But it is maxi pads and panty liners and like everything women based is pink. Again, very
you
funny
guys
about a
see-
marketing thing.
Moms always have bath pearls. My mom went through like a huge bath pearl phase.
See, my mom wasn't a bath person.
Oh, well, how did you
What
end
is
up
a
being-
bath pearl? Is that like a bath bomb?
Well, so they're
Little beads and stuff?
little. They're like this big, like the size of like a quarter. But they're spheres and they're like squishy. They're very satisfying. When I was a kid, I used to go and pop them. I'm probably gonna get in trouble.
And inside of them,
But
Is this
and
like
inside
is
of them-
this like the millennial Tide Pod thing?
inside of them? No, I didn't eat them. I just like to squish them
Okay.
and waste
and
them.
inside is lotion.
Because you would keep it like in a little glass jar next to the bath, and they look beautiful because they're
I
like
think my mom had that. Yeah.
and then but inside is just like conditioner. So there's like
Yeah.
soap, and you would put it in the bath, and it made like a and they melt.
Yeah.
They melt. in
Yeah,
the
no,
bath.
it's
So they were
like
basically Tide Pods, but I didn't eat them.
it's a bath bomb.
I just liked to destroy them.
No, my mom was not a bath person. I'm the bath person in the house.
How did you become a bath person?
You fit in your toilet?
Because everything is because my 6'5" frame is sore all the time. So my Sunday ritual is bath and Netflix. Don't worry, I watch war documentaries just to stay as a man.
Do you have like a
I have a
US
ski and anger
It's a
do you
masculine.
have a guard you tell?
with a mask that's probably with unicorns on it and bubbles.
We
really
actually talked about this in detail in a previous episode, and I can't remember what.
Look, it's
I ain't anything alive.
no, I know you do, but I'm just.
No, like we talked about the mechanics.
So, you know what I'm getting? Is it a
No,
garden towel?
Looking at a house. It's a garden towel.
I love a garden towel.
Actually, it may have been Bride of Chucky because I think we also joked about him rolling in a TV like in Chucky.
We do have TV.
Yeah, I think that might be the one.
Do you want to like?
She's one of the best friends I have, and we're talking about baths and
Bless you.
Thank you.
I do want to call myself out because I mentioned like guys freaking out when girls leave stuff at the crib. Now, my now ex-girlfriend, now fiance, she really hates it.
Dang.
What is she nervous? She just feels struck. Luckily, she doesn't listen to that show.
And she does because we edited it together. Well, we listened and edited it together. She when we first started dating and stuff, she had left. She's in the music fraternity, and she had like a KK side, and she had left a necklace of there. And I remember, she stayed over one night and she left it, and then I was like freaking out. I'm like, yo, I even called my roommate. Like,
You're like
I'm
walking around,
Jared,
looking at
and
it.
like look like literally with a pencil. I'm like, look at this. Look, what does this mean? I was like, it's not a toothbrush, it's a necklace. I was like, do you think she just meant it to leave it here and just trying to psych me out and stuff? Turns out she just honest to God forgot it.
Yeah,
And
that's
I took it in that masculine type, because I don't know. I was like, I wanted to be a playboy, but for real, I was like a really hopeless romantic because it was a thing. But I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, some of it comes from just like if you start your period when you're at somebody's place, you want something to deal with it, like it would be nice to be able to have a sanitary product you could use,
But it was funny when the necklace was left. I reverted back to
you were freaking out.
no. But one of the most heartbreaking things I thought was really touching about this movie is like when he takes her to the family in Staten Island. Number one, I think it's funny that he has a Texan accent and his family is from Staten Island. And they play this lovely game called the Bullshit. So Hoffman got a book. What's the book of? Is it the Photoshop?
Oh, but go on.
But they go to this is the part that really sucks. At least this is the part in the movie which, you can say that Kate Hudson's character really feels fucking guilty because.
Well, that's one of the few moments where you start to see their relationship develop. They're at times when he says this really cool lady.
Yeah.
And at times where she feels like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be a dick with his family around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just a bit like, oh, we forgot to mention that. She called his mom after the second day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's
And she was like, send me another picture.
That is nightmare fuel.
I don't know. And like, good for him. He really wanted this account. Because I would have left after the next game would have been
Because that would have been I'm giving you a second chance, but I'm going to be very careful about it.
okay.
Because
the poker
if someone were to like genuinely be like, oh my God, I really need like something to drink right now. Like maybe they're diabetic. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
But that poker game or calling his mother or bringing over a box of things, nightmare fuel right there.
Yeah.
Have you ever broken up with anyone or be the person to break up with someone?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never broken up with anybody. I've always been the receiving end of things.
Me
you know,
too.
and so it's just like
Chris just hasn't broken up with me yet.
I know as many ex-girlfriend jokes I make, she has how do you break up with someone?
Well, I mean,
Talk.
okay, so there are two schools of thought.
Okay.
There's one where you sit down and you tell the person, hey, this is over. This is why it's over.
Don't say it to me, say it to him.
And, well,
Say to her, I don't want to get
what?
money flashback.
Exactly. And you thank them for their service.
Damn, like verbatim?
No. But bottom line is that, that's one school of thought. And the other school of thought is you fucking ghost them.
I've done that. That's
Now, the question is, which would you rather have? Would you want someone to sit you down and say, we're breaking up and this is why, and I enjoyed my time, but now it's over?
Yeah, always.
Really?
well, I've
That type of closure is good?
Yeah.
both has happened to me. What hurts the most is ghosting.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm like, what the fuck did I do to make this person just not only like speak to me? Like, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Did she talk to one of my ex-girlfriends? Did she like kind of thing? Like because we're all people of anxiety. I need that sense of closure. Now, breaking up in person is a whole different ballgame to me because I'm trying to like stop them from breaking up to me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So
that is just like,
that's the thing is that it's always, I've never gone full ghosting on someone, but I have lived in the middle.
I've never been
Where
broken up
I've
with in person.
sent them a text
Be
message and I said, hey, or a email and said, hey, this isn't working out. This is why. Thank you. Bye.
an electronic mail.
And that's what the East.
I have been dating since
Have you ever broken up
1989.
via letter?
So
You were broke someone by.
Dearest Martha.
I've done it by telephone.
Yeah.
I've done it by email, and I've done it by text.
Which one was the easiest?
Well, the easiest one was actually
Got to be text.
Yeah.
no email. Email.
I hope this email finds her. well.
Moving me concerned.
He was like, and what if they rebuttal? They replied, please don't. Pearl up. I lost the email.
My last email.
No, I chose James to be such an asshole. People left me alone.
Your mom used to be a much different thing.
It did, yes.
Well, so Okay, the one time I was going to break up with someone, it's 20.
Did you wait it out and they broke up with you first?
Yes. Oh my! No. This is what happened. This is what happened because I'm so fucking dramatic
That
and I want
happened to me
closure.
too, actually.
But also I didn't want it. So this is what happened. So
Did you just put it off for so like
Literally,
you were scared
hold
to
on,
do it?
hold on.
matter of minutes.
Did you try to like? Did you?
Did you try to become insufferable so they would break up with
Hold
you
on, hold on.
No.
Did you try to lose them like this movie?
in 10 days?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
This was a 6 month.
Insufferable. That's a good word choice.
No.
This was a 6 month relationship, and it was very toxic in the sense that I was just enamored that this person wanted to be with me, but my buddy, who was also going through a really bad relationship, I broke up with his girlfriend, and he was like, "You know what, Noor? Fuck her. You need to break up with her right now. Give me your phone. I'm gonna text her, and we're all gonna break up."
Oh no.
And then I'm like, and he typed everything out, and he's like, "And you got to hit send." And I'm like, well, I said, "I'll hit send." And I'm like, "Nah, dude, I need to do this in person." So I text her, "Hey, where are you at? Can we talk?"
Hey, girl.
This like, "Hey, I think we need to talk."
ASL.
And so on my way,
Wait, so you fucking telegraph? So of course she broke up with you first.
right? But I wanted to do it in person as a man, and she's like, "JK." As I was on my way to break up with her, she broke up with me, relinquished me of all the power, and so even the time that I
Did you tell her you were going to break up with her anyway?
Well,
What was the text?
context clue? Hey, we need to talk. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, and that was it's also very toxic.
Okay, first of all,
yes. So I wanted to break up with her.
Yeah,
but she beat me to the punch.
Yeah, but you gave it away.
And how did
Gabe-
Brittany handle that?
I don't know, Brent. Who?
I'm joking, dude. Sorry.
look, my last job I was a manager,
Yeah.
and the one thing you never say to millennials, we need to talk.
No.
You never say those words. They will lose their fucking minds every single time. Gen Z, millennials, we need to talk. They will spin out of control.
We need to come to the principal's office.
Only public. I had an old boss that she used to, like, when she needed to talk to me, she would call me to her office and I wouldn't come inside. I would stand outside and I would stick outside the door and she'd be like, "It's good. Come in."
I learned very quickly that you state, we need to talk about this specific topic.
Yes.
And that's what you state.
Because we're in a constant fear of things.
Yeah, we're riddled with anxiety. We've already established that.
If Savannah was like, "Nor, can we talk?" And I'm like, "What did I do? I'm sorry." Like, before
We're making a shopping list.
before we even she says anything, she's
I
like,
figured the story.
"Yeah." She's like, "Nor, can I talk to you about something?" And then she'll stop, and I'm like, "What is it? What is it?"
Yeah,
What
well,
is it?
yeah.
Did I do something? Did you find my search history? What's going on? Like, I go into all of these spiral of things.
He had this insult. Did she have
Question.
No, this is goalkeeper.
Bill, is she gonna listen to this podcast?
If she does, she'll find out.
I think the one time that I wanted to break up with somebody, he
robbed you?
no, he ghosted me.
Lives in your
Well,
house?
he was away at military training, so it was like a thing, and so we didn't talk a lot. But he like
Military, Navy, where we going? Or Bridge?
That's the wrong detail to focus on right now.
the Marines.
No.
Oh, dude. So
Yeah.
it killed you in your
Like
sleep?
no, and he like never answered any of my outreaches, and I was like, okay,
Did you say we need to talk?
No, I didn't say we need to talk,
Okay.
but it was just like it was. I think it probably if I mean I don't,
Simionio's polishing his gun.
I don't
so-
really remember, but I think it probably got to the point of like, are you alive? Are you like what is happening? And then he sent me an email and broke up with me through an email.
See, I think the worst one for me was that. Trust me, I've been dumped a lot. Because I'm a hopeless
I
romantic.
didn't say that was my worst one. I said that was the one that I wanted to break up with him, and he broke up with me instead.
And I guess we can go back to the movie. Oh well, everyone is
We're talking about how to lose a guy and or girl in X number of days.
I'll tell you this. I've never broken up. Okay, does it count as breaking up if you have the first date or two and you just be like
You're not interested?
not interested? Is it okay to ghost from there? Because I've done that plenty of times.
As a
That requires a courtesy. This isn't working out for me.
No, as a girl,
I'm a dick.
ghosting in that scenario is okay.
Okay.
What's
My
hey,
perspective.
what stage of life are you in that context?
2014. So
Are you in college?
I'm in college.
That's probably fine.
So let me give you.
That's never fine.
Give me context. Give me the context.
We'll get back to the movie.
There's something fizzling out
Never.
and ghosting.
Okay,
Do you agree with that?
sorry, Libby put it this way.
Fizzling out is one thing, but if someone's sending you messages saying, "Hey, let's go out and do this," and you specifically do not respond, that is ghosting. But if you don't send a message and they don't send a message and y'all just don't contact, y'all ghost each other mutually, that's fine.
Fizzling out. I, as a girl, sometimes when you say no to a guy,
Oh yeah,
they like freak out. It could be unsafe. It could be like whatever. So like sometimes it's safer just
But the
to.
difference is you saying we're done. That's what's important. You have to the fact that one person says something and the other one doesn't say anything, that's a problem.
but she brings up a very good point.
Yeah.
No, because if you
As a woman,
Yes.
if you say no, I'm not interested, you could have been on 3 dates and they could have been fine and whatever, and he expressed interest in you, and you say no, I'm sorry, I'm just not interested, like I'm gonna like whatever, then they freak out. You're a B word, you're a whatever, like it's just
B word is bat.
it's the B word.
Very different one.
It's the
there.
So, Keiko, at what age does that ever change? Or is there an age where you should?
Well, I don't think if I text my husband, he's
No,
gonna be like,
you're married. That's different. I'm just saying, like, I feel like in high school and in college, there's different relationship rules
that was
than
college.
when you're in your
Have
late
you-
20s.
So clearly, you've never dated a man-child.
I am the man child, first of all. But I have a podcast of 39. I am the man child.
how does
you to death, buddy?
A title you're very proud of.
How do angry duet numbers factor into breaking up as opposed to ghosting?
Yeah,
That was an awesome breakup.
Yeah.
Mutual breakup.
that's a mutual breakup? Yeah. Okay, I guess we talked about
That's Matt's attempt to bring us back on topic.
Yeah. So
we the diamond party.
style
The diamond part.
Staten
yeah.
Island.
Where she runs out wearing the necklace, the security guard is like, "Can you kill each other later?"
I do love the diamond party.
The
Just
diamond party was
because
fantastic.
like, I mean, Hamlet shows up, which is a lot, which is great. But I do love,
And then gets upstaged by the terrible singing of Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson.
Dude.
Like, they are notoriously bad.
I nearly tore, like I rended my vestments. I was so bad at that.
I think this song is about you, don't you?
Kate Hudson came out with like an album recently.
She's a pretty good singer. She was
They're both singing intentionally weird.
Specifically trying to be bad. Well, Matthew McConaughey is a bad singer, and he has said so.
Yeah.
Kate Hudson is trying to be a bad
Yeah.
singer.
She's trying to upstage
actually
his badness.
pretty. She had a whole stint on Glee. I used to watch Glee. Back.
Oh, she was on Glee.
She was, in fact.
I need to start watching that again. It got depressing for me because of the
Oh yeah, the dude.
actors.
Yeah.
And what's it? They're doing De Beers, but what's the actual name that they have here?
Yeah, they definitely call it something other than De Beers.
Demure.
Let's do it. They're very demure.
Yeah.
And so the woman has the red hair,
I love her.
like she's a Japanese artist. Forget the woman.
What?
Did you say Keiko?
What?
I was going, oh, coat.
No, the woman who did the mirror.
I said it an hour, yeah.
Yes.
It's the one with the weird infinity mirror.
Yeah, it's the wow.
It was like penises.
Liliane Montevecchi.
And she's flirting with Matthew McConaughey because, of course, she would. He's a handsome man. And the old,
Yeah, I would. Fuck, it's
and the
Matthew.
old guy is just drinking cocktails, and his wife is telling him not to have desserts, which been there. With my diamonds, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Giles
Uh,
is the woman's best friend.
But they're like the great Marvin Hamlish and Kate Hudson now. And the whole thing that's going on now is the end of She's All That. The two women who are the other advertisement team have told Kate Hudson that he was just interested.
No. They tricked his two male best friends
Right.
into confronting her and saying, they're going to say that you were in on the bet.
Yeah,
and
you
she's
guys
like, bet?
they were in it together the whole time.
Yeah.
And Kate Hudson, who was in love at one point, is now put off because the whole thing is now we're at the end of the 10 days for both of them. That's what's going on, right?
And she realizes that she was manipulated.
Oh.
But at what point
Must
do you think?
feel bad to be manipulated?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, when they came back from Staten Island and stuff, he was wanting to progress the relationship because he bought Game 7 tickets and he said, "Don't make any plans on the 13th day because
They're still together.
they're still together." Mind you, this is 2 weeks,
Yeah,
and he's buying Game 7 tickets of
Yeah, because
I know we talked about it, but it is very cute her playing bullshit with the family. Like, they do a good job. And by the way, just as a rule of fashion, don't wear all white to a barbecue because sauce is getting everywhere. But it is cute. He goes, the mom at one point gives her a hug and says, she goes, "Oh, I know he brings all the guys here." And she goes, You're the first girl that she brought home.
Don't break his heart.
Ew.
Which is what moms are supposed to say.
And when he finds out that she's been playing him, he looks like someone just took a sledgehammer to him.
Guys are more sensitive.
Well, but they're both.
Oh, do not give me that bullshit.
No, and by the way, you said on a podcast.
Depends on the guy, I suppose.
It's me. No, I get emotional too.
Guys are more sensitive in the sense that they will be over emasculated to hide their sensitivity.
Guys are more defensive.
Yes.
No, you're saying it because you're a guy.
Yes.
At the end of the day, this does a good job of saying that they're both affected, man. I don't know. I think
Everybody's sensitive.
I
depends
do
on the leading
think
glare.
that this movie does a good job of trying to be balanced. It still has to fit within the mold of a rom-com.
Yep.
But they feel it out, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, at the end of this, we of course cut to the end of the story, which is she writes her article. I think she's supposed to be the protagonist, kind of. And we don't see what the article is, but her boss with the, the page boy haircut says,
Baby Newirth.
yeah, who's good in this?
Like
actually?
an amazing Broadway actress.
Because, in fact, she's the one who reveals it to Matthew McConaughey, right? Because she's like, you'll never guess what she's doing. She's supposed to date a guy and break his heart in 10 days.
Yeah, she is.
They're wearing $1 million jewels and they're just laughing like rich white people.
She is so callous in this movie about the whole various breakup schemes going on.
This is about as anti-capitalist as Scrooge is. Like, this is very much like, there's no love here. We're trying to make money, damn it. And you can talk about Ukraine later.
I'm not your scout leader. I'm your boss. Be professional. Because rather being professional means being soulless.
Being soulless. Again, it's the capitalist, like, early 2000 thing. Also, I would wager this script was rolling around for a while. So it's the late 90s.
The Devil Wears Prada came out only 3 years after this. So this could be kind of, in addition to satirizing dating culture and gender stereotypes, also could be also satirizing New York magazine culture.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, but you could set this anywhere. Like, what is the one you were bringing up? Dixie, Love in the South.
Sweet Home Alabama. This little Mississippi Burns.
What the fuck? Mississippi Burning is not a rom-com.
Love is it up?
I mean, depending on who you talk to.
Mississippi Burning. No.
Someone take a trend.
Just can't even with that.
Someone re-edit Mississippi Burning into a rom-com trailer.
All right, so
No women in that movie.
getting back to
Doesn't matter.
So she stormed.
I wish I could quit the Klan.
He's a little dark. He's a little racist.
Isolate that.
Teacher. I want to quit the Klan, but the Klan won't quit me.
Oh,
Is that the?
yeah.
Dude,
It's like a Romeo
should be saying that. Oh, that is going to be broadcasted.
Do you think there's like a Romeo and Juliet where there's like a girl from a racist family and a boy from, a black family, and they're like, our love is for. Actually, no, there's a.
That's called West Side Story.
It is West Side Story.
When you're in the Klan all the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I should watch West Side Story.
No, I want to end the study movie. Just
Let it go on the record that I do not approve of this conversation. Let's move on.
okay. So the movie ends. What happens? Kate Hudson storms off. The very fake jewelry guy shows up. He goes, "I need your necklace back. This diamond has a name, please." And
they it shows they still care about each other because they both gang up on him. Like, I need this back and kill each other afterwards. Shut up!
no. When a diamond is big enough and has a name, people should be upset.
Oh,
When it
absolutely.
walks off.
It could have been an easily Ocean's 11 plot.
So
steal a diamond.
They end the evening with heated passions, hating one another.
Yes.
Okay. She goes into work. She turns in her article. We don't know what it says, as you pointed out.
Yes.
She then says, now that I've done this, can I write about anything I want? And it turns out she can't.
She cannot.
So she quits her job.
And she takes interviews elsewhere. We don't know where yet.
Yes,
But she
exactly.
said she's LinkedIn is hooked up. But the next important thing is she is hanging out with Kathryn Hahn,
Exactly.
who's still recovering from her breakup, to watch Game 7 of the playoffs. And then Hahn's ex shows up, the whole onus for this story. And he is apologetic and he's sweet and he brings her flowers.
And he wants a second chance.
And he wants a second chance.
This movie takes place in 2 fucking weeks. If she would have waited another week or two, the whole movie would have been like, didn't make any sense. Because it was, like you said, it bases off that relationship and that breakup.
I think this presupposes speed dating almost. Like it's a very tight, neat movie. And again, I bet you Lifetime has done this 100 times.
Oh, for sure.
It's just charming in the way that it's professionally done and edited, because Charlie's keeping me on a tight leash, and that's fine. What's going on here is our boys here, Matthew McConaughey, Tom Lennon, Adam Goldman, are putting together, Goldberg rather, are putting together their commercial. And it's the old lady who is hitting on Matthew McConaughey, and she's essentially standing in Central Park, and 2 guys come up, and the phrase, I guess, the slogan of the advertisement is "Frost yourself." The girls don't need to wait for a man to buy them diamonds. You can buy them for yourselves to look good. This is fine. Good advertisement. Everything is CGI. The idea that the men walk up to her is computer animated. And that's supposed to be the point. We have a real connection between Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson, and the romance on the commercials is fake. And so he realizes, perhaps, that a real relationship is worth fighting for,
Well, he also reads the article.
which Adam has with him.
Exactly.
And
And it basically points out that she was in love with him.
yes, I broke up in 10 days, but I regret it because he was phenomenal, because he's Matthew McConaughey. And
Exactly.
he's the kindest, sweetest man that we've ever been told exists. Right. And so Matthew McConaughey does read the article, and he's like, all right, I better get her.
He runs back to her work.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, nope, she's getting on a plane now and going to Washington, or on her way to a plane.
And 2 things.
Leaving on a jet plane
Yeah.
and don't know when she'll be back again.
Yep.
Going to Georgia.
2 things that don't matter
That's a
until
train.
this point. There's a dog, which I'm pretty sure was supposed
Well,
to be
if
in his
this movie had
basement.
taken place before 2001, there would have been the inevitable scene where he runs
To the
out
gate.
to the gate
Yeah.
to stop her.
That's right. And the other one is that he has a motorcycle, which at one point she rides on at the beginning of a date, and then also drives herself at one point along the pier.
That's the most touching and my
But
favorite Keith Urban
Apparently,
film ever.
when he steps out of her office, he sees her across the street getting in a cab.
Don't think
Right.
it.
I don't think
So he just missed her by like a minute or 2.
Apparently.
A New York
So
minute.
He
Everything can change.
he jumps on his bike and chases down the cab, screaming at her as, like, you know, they're driving along. They're on the bridge, and she tries to get the taxi guy to stop. He won't. until she says, "Oh, well, I think I'm going to be sick." And then he pulls over, which apparently, according to my partner, is pretty much the sure way to get a taxi driver to stop.
Oh yeah. I've asked my Uber driver
In New York City, you just say you're going to be sick.
What if you're being kidnapped?
then you
Not in a
then-
taxi.
Like an Uber.
Well, in an Uber, you give them 1 star, they'll stop.
Yeah.
I will give you 1
I'll
star.
give you 1 star. If you don't. Okay, I'm just curious.
or just tell them they'll pull over. Trust me, I've asked.
So they pull over, and then basically that's where he calls bullshit on the fact that she's leaving to go to Washington, D.C. He accuses her of wanting to run away and that she should stay and be with him because he's the finest specimen of masculinity to ever walk the earth. And
I mean, both of them look great in this movie, so I'm not going to complain.
yeah, that's true. They are pretty.
And I
Goes, all right. And she goes, all right. And they all,
Honey,
and they
Kate Hudson is a beautiful, beautiful Nepo baby.
she is.
She's a baby too.
Dude, cool your
Oh
shoe.
yeah, I don't know. You're right. I forgot who she was for a second. Yeah.
She owns the Hudson River.
That's true.
In the Hudson Bay.
Goldie Hawn.
I know.
And Goldie Hawn's half Jewish. Like the taxi cab driver just looking at the window, you gonna kiss her or what? Like, it's just like, wow.
The meter's running. I gotta kiss.
Yeah.
I will say this. After
He doesn't care because the meter's running. You can kiss her all you want. He's still charging you for your time.
I will say this: if I was that cab driver, and this is what Matthew McConaughey says, he was like, "Take her luggages back to her place. She has other means of transportation." I would like, go fuck yourself. You're gonna take all the luggage in your little motorcycle because I'm not going back.
The meter's running though.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey's paying $50 in 2003 money for this.
I mean, apparently that's legit.
Works in an ad agency, and she is a writer.
Yeah, they're billionaires.
Yeah, New York street mud of people. Did we ever see her place? Or should we always
No. And here's the thing. Then we get to credits, which a good rom-com does. They don't explain shit.
They
They're
don't
just
explain shit.
done.
They go to credits and we're done.
And you won't find them again until Fool's Gold.
All right.
we need to do She's All That or She's the Man. Like, we just have to do more of these.
She's the man. That has Amanda Bynes and Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
It does.
Who's
Okay,
from Alabama?
so this is squoshed between Look Who's Talking and Prince of Thieves and a mystery movie. How do you guys feel on this rom-com? Keiko, you're up first.
It's great. I love rom-coms. I love getting to watch more girly movies for the pod. So it's awesome. Love it.
Thank God you're our minority hire. And, Charlie?
Oh, goodness. Yes, delightful despite some outdated sensibilities.
Yeah.
I think if it was done today, they would have to cut a few of the elements, but overall, solid rom-com.
Nor.
I love rom-coms. I love this movie. I love the McConaughey. I gotta watch, was it Tiptoe? One with Peter Dinklage. So it's just...
Or no, you don't.
Is that a rom-com?
There's other things you can watch. Hello, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. So,
Like movies. Movies exist.
and I will say this. I get it. I really do get why people love Matthew McConaughey. And for those of you who don't know, you should really, there's a podcast that he does that, Two Bears, One Cave.
He did.
And then he describes this amazing tuna salad recipe.
You had it? Did you have it?
I've made it. It's amazing. His secret trick is a little wasabi and some dried up pickled potato chips or something like that. It is. I love a good rom-com, especially when New York is the character, which is was a funny trope.
True. No, that's fair.
And it does everything. You have your ups, you have your downs, and my favorite scene is when they're on that pier when he's teaching her how to ride a motorcycle and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's like almost like a guy teaching a girl how to play pool. You just lean in, that kind of thing. So I like it. There wasn't. If you think too hard, it's not like a movie. But if you just live it as it is, it's a really nice, cute movie.
Nor loves love.
I do love love. I love love.
Softy. I love it.
Yeah.
Matt?
I don't usually watch rom-coms, but this is actually very well made and funny.
Okay, all right. All right. So we picked this because it's February. But this is charming as hell. I don't know. We make fun of it because, and again, I hate cringe humor. I do. And this is the cringiest movie I've seen in a very, very long time. But everyone's charming in it, and there's nothing, I don't want to say there's nothing offensive because that makes it sound like I'm watching out for DEI stuff. I just want to say, like, this movie is perfectly enjoyable. Like, it's flawed in many ways, but that's what rom-coms are. You watch them because it's a will they, won't they. And I like that about this. I feel warm and fuzzy because these people seem to care. And we didn't talk about it, but they have chemistry. That's all you need. Like, we've talked a lot about movies in the past where the main lead, especially romantic leads, don't seem to like each other. Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey seem to, and frankly, Agatha seems to really like, Kathryn Hahn seems to really like Kate Hudson. And no, not in a lesbian way. Like, just, they seem to get along like they're friends. Tom Lennon and Adam Goldberg seem to like Matthew McConaughey. Like, everyone gets along. It seems like a very warm set.
The cats clicked.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need in a rom-com. Like, if it's about relationships, it works. And frankly, over Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, we watched a lot of those bad Hallmark movies. And that's the thing that you notice. You're like, I'm trying to save my poinsettia farm, and none of the people around you gives a shit. Anyway, so I like this. I'm happy to do it. And I would just give a plug. Last year, as we were recording, I felt a lot of anxiety about a lot of work stuff. So I listened to Matthew McConaughey's audiobook called Green Lights, and God help me, that is like a warm cup of chamomile. That guy is just like, man, in my life, I had a lot of bad things that happened, and those are red lights. So I'm going to talk about the green lights. Woo! And you're just like, I've lost 5 years off my life. Like, he's just such a warm cup of tea. He is tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich.
No, he's a hot toddy.
Oh,
You got to watch with it.
And more ways than one.
and at one point he goes, I had to lose weight for a movie, baby. So I said, I will drink as much red wine as I like, but only eat apples. And I'm like, you know what? I will lose weight that way too, my friend. Anyway, so as we are speaking, this is Valentine's week, baby. And this is the 13th of February. So I will tell you, I know last week is Look Who's Talking. In a couple weeks, we're going to do Prince of Thieves, some romantic movies. But next week, we are breaking the mold because next week is our 500th episode. And so we're going to do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014 to correspond with our first movie ever, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And after 11 years, thank you for listening, because God knows I would do this without anyone, but it wouldn't require a microphone. But thank you for listening to our podcast. Thanks for listening every week. Thank you for reviewing us. Thank you for sharing us. And thank you for my podcast friends here who are around the table with me, because the only reason I do it is because I'm not doing it alone.
Oh.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Myopia Movies is a podcast production of Dude Letter Podcasting and is produced by Nick Hoffman. It is edited by Nerd Trinette and Daniel Sudis and is hosted by Nick Hoffman, with production assistance by Matthew Quinn, Daniel Sudis, and Nerd Trinette. The theme song is Surf Shimmy by Kevin MacLeod from Incomptech.com. Licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 4 license, Creative Commons/licenses by/4.0. Thanks. Myopia Movies is a podcast production of Dude Letter Podcasting and is produced by Nick Hoffman. It is edited by Nerd Trinette and Daniel Suttis and is hosted by Nick Hoffman, with production assistance by Matthew Quinn, Daniel Suttis, and Nerd Trinette. The theme song is Surf Shimmy by Kevin MacLeod from Incomptech.com. Licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 4 license, Creative Commons /licenses by /4.0. Thanks.